Hello and welcome to the PlayStation Anime Podcast that now has an official name that I could drop at the start of the podcast because...
But you didn't.
I did. After a lot of deciding and thinking of stuff, we decided to go with Problematic Sticker Podcast.
The Problematic
Sticker Podcast, we say. The makes it more official.
Yes, it almost sounds regal, despite what it means.
No, come on, guys! Haven't you seen the Facebook movie with Mark Zuckerberg where Justin Timberlake drops the and get rid of the in front of Facebook? And that's what made it so popular. If we put the in, it won't be as popular as Facebook.
Oh no! But then we won't be able to steal people's details.
Yeah, but that guy had Napster, and fuck him. So.
He was napping on that's for certain.
Napster? Nice.
Anyway, this is the first official Problematic Sticker Podcast, but it's our 7th episode of the PlayStation Anime Podcast. With us this week we've got Chris. Hey, Chris.
Hello. Didn't this evolve from the unnamed Dragon Ball anime podcast?
Yeah, it did.
This is actually technically episode 137?
I think we could totally call this then Dragon Ball Evolution.
Tim, you went too far.
I mean, if that's representative of the quality of the podcast, then we maybe might think about shutting it down right now.
And Tim's voice has now been replaced with silence.
I thought they were going to replace it with ducks.
That quote doesn't even deserve ducks.
Oh.
I fucking loved it, Tim. I loved it. I hated it, but I loved it. So good job.
Wah. Quack, quack.
Quack. Stay stuck at this. Anyway, and we've got Alfonso with us this week. Hey, Alfonso.
Hey guys, it's good to be back.
It's good to have you back. It's always good to have you on the cast, mate.
Likewise.
And we've got Neil Bolts.
That's me.
That's you.
The Neil, more regal.
We dragged him in because we're not.
Why not? Yeah, I mean, that's a good idea as any. I have to keep consuming podcasts and in the hope that one day if it ends, at least I had my share. I had my fill of podcasts.
See, my plan is that if I do enough podcasts, I'll say enough words that if I die suddenly, I can be replaced by a robot that just makes sentences ripped out from words from my podcasts.
I mean, you'll have a literal digital biography for you. Amazing.
Hey, Ben, now that you mention it, I would actually listen to a podcast of you reading the dictionary with that sexy, sultry Sir Ian McKellen voice of yours. Well, I would listen to that podcast.
Well, thank you. Maybe I should do that. It wouldn't exactly get many views, but it would just be Chris
get at least
1,000 times.
Oh.
He's just sitting there, aardvark, noun, mammal. Yes, love it.
And I'm spent.
Problematic sticker number 1.
So we now know who Chris dreams about at night.
Oh man!
Hey, I never got to talk
you guys
about
don't dream of Ben.
I really think we need a sound effect for every time a sticker comes into play as well.
Womp womp.
But then
it's got to be. It's got to be.
Podcast would just be.
See, I would love. I have the exact sound in mind, and it's basically that hard slap that sounds like a sticker being slapped onto a cardboard crate. That's like you slapping the problematic sticker on my face. Like, just no, Chris, no.
If it didn't
that sound came out wrong.
That sounded wrong.
Definitely problematic
Sticker for you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd want Ben to have to edit in every sound effect because the episodes will go out of date very quickly. I think.
And not only that, but the episode go from an hour and 40 minutes to next week.
Or if he just kept having to fill in, the song for the tone for every time something like that happened, it would just be an hour and a half of
Thanks for listening to our podcast.
And then we'll hear the shout outs at the end.
It goes from being an anime podcast to an ASMR of sticking stickers onto boxes.
Oh,
if you want a spin-off podcast of me doing ASMR, fund me at PayPal.
I mean, don't just give money to PayPal. You may want to give them an address for that sort of thing.
Anyway, I've got to still introduce people. We haven't introduced all the people. Klaus from Phoenix Down Radio, www.phoenixdownradio.com or twitch.tv/PhoenixDownRadio is here with us.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing?
He's the one that's not your girlfriend's favorite streamer.
You got this like rapid fire introduction. Hi.
Well, because I didn't have to say anything. He said it all for me.
Well played, Maurer.
He's got that.
Oh my god.
How are you doing, Klaus?
Oh, I am surviving. I have things that are going on, but they are not anime related, so
well,
we don't need to talk about that today.
We love you and we're here for you, so.
But one thing that is somewhat anime related, how many of you guys were out during Pokemon Go Community Day yesterday?
That was me.
Anybody else to go?
I did not.
I did not either.
No.
So Ben, how many shinies did you get?
1.
Did you evolve it to Charizard?
Yep.
Nice.
I got it just as the event was ending.
Oh, excellent! So you got it right in time.
Yeah, I was out for about 2 hours and I found 1.
Did you evolve any that you had prior?
Yeah, it's annoying. I was trying to evolve a second one. No, I didn't have any prior ones. I tried to evolve a second one and it ticked 1 o'clock just as it ended, just as it evolved, and I didn't get it.
So it didn't have Blast Burn, huh?
No, the first one did. The shiny did. The second one didn't.
That's the important one.
Yeah.
I got lucky and I actually ended up getting 4.
Nice.
So I've got 2 shiny Charizards, and then I had a few Charmeleons from raids.
Yeah.
That were like 90, really high IVs.
Nice.
So really good. So I evolved those as well. So I ended up with 5 new Charizards yesterday.
Nice. This was my first Charizard, so.
Oh, so you got a Dex entry with it too. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's what made it tick over so long.
Excellent.
So yeah.
But that's cool. It was a fun event. It was probably the one Pokemon that people were really looking forward to because I think it's the coolest looking shiny.
Oh yeah, it is. And that's why I was worried I wasn't going to get one because there was like 5 minutes left and I still didn't find one. I was like, my god, I'm not going to get one. And I got one. I was like, yes! I was like, Golden Raspberry, Ultra Ball.
Right? I'm not letting this fucker get away! But I'm kind of sad because it seemed like the spawn rate of the Charmanders was a lot lower than in previous community days.
Yeah, a lot of people. When I went, because I thought, this time I thought for once I'll go to like the park area because there's a little parky area behind my flat, and I thought, instead of going to town, I'll do that. Not a single Charmander.
Are there Pokestops there?
There's 6.
Yeah, you'd think that would be enough, but
so I went into
town
and there's only 5 Pokestops in town, and it's a town, so it's not supposed to be. Yeah, it's supposed to be parks, but no, I went to town, and there was loads.
I wonder if maybe it's because there was just more people there.
Yeah, I'm guessing that.
But it was just really odd. We had a lower spawn rate here too, and I mean we got enough. I think I ended up catching over 100 Charmanders.
I think I caught 70 in the end. But I got 200 on candy because I was using pinup berries.
Oh, exactly. You got to pin up those things so you get the extra candies. Yeah. But I'm glad you got your shiny.
Did you hear about the rumor? I know it's a Switch game, but this is an anime podcast, so it doesn't matter. The rumor that the new Pokemon game for the Switch will be compatible with Go.
Interesting. I had not heard that.
Yeah, supposedly the rumored names are Pokemon Go Pikachu and Pokemon Go Eevee. And there'll be remakes of Pokemon Yellow, but there'll be some connections with Pokemon Go somehow. So
you can catch Pokemon from your Go account and transfer them into the game, or transfer ones you catch in
it's all
the game
right
out.
Now. This could all be fake, but
but it would be interesting. Or I've also heard rumors of them just putting Pokemon Go on the Switch.
Yeah, well, there's rumors that they're taking elements from Pokemon Go. So if people are thinking that because there was a screenshot of Pokemon sort of swimming around. That the idea of taking stuff from Pokemon Go is that there won't be as many. It won't be random battles, but you'll actually see them on the field.
Okay, so you can go up to them and say, "I choose you."
Yeah, and battle them, and then beat them up, and then catch them.
And then beat
while
them
they're
up.
eating the breakfast. Be like a little Caterpie sort of eating some grass, and you'd be like, "Ah, I want that one," and then run up to
breakfast. It and smack it. Nobody wants Caterpie though.
I do.
Shut up! I want Caterpie.
I
don't want Caterpie.
And plus, if you evolve Caterpie into Metapod, you have the greatest battles ever. You can just have a Metapod versus Metapod and go Harden. No, Harden.
That's a very meta battle.
Damn, you're not the only one today, Tim.
No.
Anyway, I didn't introduce Tim, but he said Dragon Ball Evolution, so that's enough.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to not have you introduce him.
No,
it's fine. It seems like I've done it to myself.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought he had introduced you, so that's why I was like...
No, I didn't mention him because of Dragon Ball Evolutions.
Oh, you're punishing him?
He's punishing him. But I can't because he's Tim, and I want to hug him.
Love.
Always.
You want to hug everybody, though.
I do.
I'm not special.
But Tim is awesome. And we still need to play some Destiny, Tim.
Yes. Hashtag.
Anyway, back to Pokemon Go.
Well, actually,
I think we're done.
Okay, so with Pokemon Go, they brought back Ho-Oh into the legendary raids with a shiny.
Yeah, I know when I want it. I'm going to have to go back to my group because I haven't really been raiding for a while. So.
And apparently, if you get a shiny, it is 100% catch rate.
Nice, same as Lugia was then.
Yep. I still haven't seen a shiny from a raid.
I've never seen a shiny. Well, I've seen people in our group that see a shiny, but I haven't personally got one.
Yeah, we did 3, or actually, today before the show, I did 5 legendary raids. We got 3 Ho-Ohs and 2 Latias.
Nice.
And there were 2 shiny Ho-Ohs that people in our group got. So
nice.
I didn't.
This guy got 2 of them in one day when Lugia was out. We're like, God damn it.
Yeah, I didn't get any of the Lugias.
No, I didn't either. He ended up with 6 of them. I was like, why? Share.
Shiny?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah, he ended up with 6 shiny Lugias.
Nobody is willing to hock a Lugia.
Nobody.
Ugh.
I gotta tell you how frustrating it is to hear you say that you just did today 5 raids, when in my town there aren't enough people to do 1.
Yeah, well, that's one thing. We do have a really good community here for the most part. We can get... I mean, when raiding first came out, we actually had to split up groups because there were more than 20.
Yeah, we still have to do that sometimes for certain groups. I mean, not because there's over 20, but like if we've got 20 people, we'll normally split into 2 10s.
Or a lot of times we actually split into teams. So we'd have the red go and then yellow and then blue.
That's what we do that pretty much every raid. It's just that if we see that there's like 4 yellows and 6 reds, they might merge. So, but yeah, Tim, the only thing I'd suggest is look on Facebook. I know you don't like Facebook, but look on Facebook. There's normally like Pokemon Go groups in your town. At least that's what
no, I mean, my town is only 600 people, and most of them, and the mean age of the city is like 55.
112.
I'm going to tell you now that nearly everyone in my group are older than me, and we've got about 6 people that are over 60.
Okay, well, hang on. I'm going to go over to my highly conservative neighbor and say, excuse me, I know you voted for Trump, but have you heard about Pokemon Go?
Dude, you need to have a suit on and be holding a black book.
Hey, at least
that says Pokemon.
Pokédex. At least you didn't go like this. Why don't
Excuse me, do you have a moment to hear about your Lord and Savior Pokemon?
Why don't you Pokemon go to the polls? Anyone remember that? Because
No.
I do, and I want to kill myself.
Never forget.
Well, Tim, you could always make a trek to Sioux Falls or something like that.
Yeah, but that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
But we've had some really good spawning locations. Like, I know there's a great place for us to farm Magikarp, which is something I want to do.
I still need a Ditto.
Gary? You still haven't gotten your Ditto. Holy crap.
Dude, I live
thing in the world for me.
I live in bumfuck Minnesota, and I have a Ditto.
have a what?
Ditto. That worked out really well.
That was a good save there, Tim.
Now we're going back to meta.
Well, to be fair, Tim, that is the Pokemon version of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there was something in the Pokemon universe, that would be one of them.
Metapod?
Oh, yeah.
EU Sarden, yeah.
It's super effective.
The best part about that, Tim, is I was thinking the exact same thing, and I was using my mind powers to transfer it through the headphones to you to make you say it.
All I know is I'm picturing it, but one of those now, but with the Ditto's eyes.
The Ditto face on it. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Let's see if I can say this properly. You're telling me that I osmosed a Freudian slip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Digitally to you from me.
I like it.
You're welcome.
Digital osmosis. Now that would be an awesome band name.
Digital osmosis.
Yes.
Like electronica industrial. I think they'd be good. Like a more hardcore Daft Punk.
Did you almost just say it again?
What?
It almost sounded like you almost tried to say it again.
Yeah.
Ditto?
It's all I can hear now every time you say it.
You're welcome.
Tim's just spewing dittos out of his mouth all day.
I have a closet full of dittos.
Well,
I keep mine in my drawer.
I've got a drawer under the bed that I've got all my dittos in.
Next to the black book by my bed.
Your black Pokédex.
Yep, because that's actually the one I would have.
Okay, I think we should go off dittos.
Yes.
Ditto.
The ditto topic.
Ditto.
If your love life was better, you wouldn't need to even be discussing those.
That actually is a little. That's like meta sad because that's coming from a married man.
I think we'll start because me and Klaus have talked for a bit. Should we start with My Hero instead of Boruto? Switch things up.
I think it's still going to be you two talking.
Okay, has nobody watched it this week then?
I did, but it's a little blurry. I don't really remember all of it.
There was a lot of action this week.
He's still recovering.
Yeah, still recovering.
Mad Gantz.
You got some bad Gans.
Mad Gantz. Top Gantz.
Okay, well I guess it's just us three talking. My Hero Academia. I agree, there was a lot of everything going on in this episode. It was very sort of action-y, confusing-y, sort of jump-cut-y bits. But I did enjoy it. I liked the fact that we didn't... I like the villains, to be honest. The villains are amazing, and I want to see more of them. And the fact that they haven't been... Well, they've been defeated-ish. Not really, but, we will see them again, so I'm happy about that.
Well, I mean, it's nice as far as the episode and the plot line goes that they actually... The kids and the school was kind of dealt a loss with this one. The first half of the episode is basically they're finishing out the battle in the woods.
Which did drag on, which was nice. I was worried that it might.
Exactly. I thought maybe it might have been a couple episodes yet, but we got a half an episode out of it. And they ended up getting Bakugo out of there. The villains took Bakugo with them, but they were able to save Tokiyami.
Yep. So they saved the best character.
Yes.
Wait, let's state the fact that at first they didn't know that the magician had made a fake.
Yeah.
Yep. So they faked him out, which was kind of an interesting little a plot twist there.
Which was cool because like magicians, you don't always believe what you see.
A little sleight of hand there.
Yeah.
But no, and then they ended up he showed them that he had hid them in his mouth actually, while he put the fakes in his pocket, which is the ones they took back. But then they ended up all warping away through the warp gate, and
well, before they walked away, the guy with the crutch laser shot him as well to try.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember his name, but the one with the crutch laser, Chris.
No, the naval laser. belly button laser. Yeah. What is his name? I got to bring that up again. Chris, help us out here.
Ayami? I was way off.
Yeah, he shot his laser to try and sort of make him spit them out, but...
Spit it out.
It didn't really work, so...
This is getting really too easy.
Oh, hey, I would store them in my mouth, too, if I was him. So,
well, I mean,
just how
if you were you...
I wouldn't even put the others in my pockets. They would just all been in my mouth.
So you're saying you're used to having spheres in your mouth?
Oh, massive.
Ditto.
Are they smooth though?
They go in rough, come out very smooth after a little bit of action on them.
Kind
of like erosion. You know how a river works on rocks; it makes them smooth.
I said you just polish them.
Spit.
Yeah. I put them in my mouth and I polish it real nicely.
Give them a good spit shine, huh?
Oh yeah, lots of spit.
This anime needs to be renamed again because this is not an anime podcast.
It's a problematic anime podcast.
That's why it's called The Problematic Sticker, not The Problematic Sticker Anime Podcast.
Anyway, once he spits them out... as we know...
I usually only get them spit out after I get hit with a nail laser. Sorry, I had to. Please continue.
The guy with the naval laser was still hiding his little bush, though. So...
You think a laser would trim that?
I'm a turtle shell, then.
People pay good money to get their hair laser trimmed. Just saying, there's a market.
Yeah. What else? Then they had the issue, and then they found out where the league it did, didn't they? That's where it kind of ended with them gonna go fight the bad guys.
But yeah, they had kind of the recap of what ended up happening, where how many were escaped without injury. I think it was 13 of them, or something like that. And how many people were injured, missing.
The cat girls missing.
One of the cat girls is missing. No. Not Pixie Bob, the yellow one, right?
Yeah, the yellow one.
I can't find her name. I don't remember it. I'm so bad with names most of the time.
Didn't it start with a D?
That's what she said.
Ditto?
Wow.
No, it was like Dalwin or Dahlia or something like that.
Okay.
Derivative?
Anyway, the cat girl was stolen.
But the only thing they were able to find was a part of her bloody headpiece, her headgear. So they have not assumed what's happened yet, but
it's maybe.
And there were a few that were admitted to a nearby hospital, Deku being one of them.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't be surprised. He said the fact that he kept fainting because he was in so much pain and everything that happened to his body. It's pretty much smashed to pieces. Surprised he has any bones.
Well, they did say that a recovery girl stopped by to help heal his wounds.
Yeah, several times, I think. But yeah, I can't wait for next week to see how they're going to react to the... Because the kids are also going to try and find the hideout now that they know where it might be, because they've got a way to track it if they give them the tracker.
Yep, they talked with Momo about the tracker that she planted, and she gave them the tracking
frequency
hardware, so that way they can find it. They were overheard by which two was it? Damn it! They were going to visit Deku, Todoroki, and Kirishima, right?
Yeah. That was it.
Wasn't it those two that were going to visit?
Yeah.
And then they overheard Momo talking with All Might and that detective about what they found. So, yeah, they're trying to talk them out of not going because Ida doesn't really want them to go after them because it's, going to get them into more trouble.
Yeah. And Lindo wasn't it as well? Or is that the same person? But yeah.
No, you're talking about Ida?
I'm talking about the racetrack guy, the one with jets.
Yeah, it's Ida.
Yeah, Ida.
Yeah, it's Ida. IIDA.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Ben. It always looks like Lita to me too because they capitalize the I.
Yeah,
and I always have to look a second time when they. Yeah, it's Ida. Yeah, okay. That's an I, not an L.
It always looks like an L to me.
Yeah, it does to me. It does to me too. I have to catch my soul time when I'm reading the captions.
But he doesn't want them to go after them at this point because it wants the cops and the pros to take care of it. Though Todoroki now actually wants to help out with this because one of their friends has been taken, and they know basically where he is. Yeah. Because this other policeman saw a person who matched the description of what's his name, Dabi, go into an abandoned building that wasn't supposed to have anything in it, but they discovered that there was a bar-like place in there, but because they weren't looking for that, they didn't proceed any further. But now that they have something to link to it, they are going to go take a look at that with the pros.
This shifty bar that shouldn't be here. Let's just leave it alone. Let's not research it all.
Well, they had at the time. They really didn't have much of a reason to, because the guy was kind of suspicious, but he wasn't really wanted for anything.
I guess, but it just feels weird that there's a bar that people are going to that's not licensed and is hiding in a shifty barn. It's just like, okay.
What, you don't go to all those shifty bars too?
No,
those are the best ones.
Yeah, those are where you pick up the best women.
That's where you pick up the best guys.
I figured that was the only type of bar you had in Scarborough.
Why do you think I don't go to bars in Scarborough?
Because there's
it's too easy to get picked up by vampires at those, though.
And werewolves.
Ooh. And werewolves, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So yeah, that was My Hero this week. Do you have anything to talk about it, Alfonso?
No, yeah, pretty much covered everything. Sweet. Now it's starting to come back.
No, I'll let you talk about this, Klaus, because I didn't mind this week's episode, but I want to see your opinion on it. Boruto.
Okay. At least they got the bad part out of the way right away. Because you know how I feel about Boruto having that scientific ninja tool. A little upset that he ended up using it, but like I said, it's plot line that they're trying to pass through. And it's going to have some sort of payout. Like I said, I'm interested to see what it's going to end up being. So he ends up winning his match with he gets matched up against the bubblegum guy in the first one-on-one match. And it looked like he was going to have some trouble initially because he's able to apparently that bubblegum is infused with chakra, and the user can then maneuver it using that chakra and place it wherever they need to. So he was making these bubbles and basically covering the entire battlefield with these different bubbles, making it impossible for Boruto to get a attack in. But he ended up using the ninja tool and creating a wind shuriken that he was able to easily bend and pop a bubble right in his face and knock him out. So that was the first match. Boruto wins with the help of the ninja tool.
It's annoying because that was the training he was doing with Sasuke. I don't feel like he needed to use a tool, really.
No, I think if he had actually applied himself and, sat down and thought about it and really did what he was training for, he could have won that match on his own.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. It was a relatively weak opponent with an interesting jutsu, but I think, like I said, Boruto is smart. He just panicked, basically, and he had this piece to lean back on, and he took the easy way. Yeah. The rest of the battles, though, those are some good battles.
Oh, yeah. They were
good. I mean, I enjoyed the rest of the episode immensely.
I like Shikamaru's kid's battle. That was really cool. He used the leftover gum. as an advantage.
Well, it ended up being a very smart kid. He takes things on the battlefield and he will use them to his advantage. There was a bubble gum left from that previous battle, and it ended up. He noticed that it slowed down his opponent's movements because they have super hearing.
Yeah, and
they can tell even from the slightest weight shift as to where he was going to be going with his shadow paralysis jutsu. But he was able to fake him out and ended up using paper bombs to cover his movements and was able to capture her that way and win the battle. But no, that was a close battle. It could have gone either way because she has a special attack that she uses her hair to basically create high frequency sound waves that could have easily taken him out.
Oh yeah, he was nearly down. So he was low on chakra from what we can tell from Boruto.
So, from all of his using his jutsu, that takes a lot out of him. I mean, we've known that ever since the original Naruto. Shikamaru had really build up his the amount of chakra he had. Exactly. So we know it's a very intense jutsu and hard to keep going for a very long time. So that was 2 Leaf Ninjas that went through. The third battle was Inojin.
No, third one was Sarada, wasn't it?
Oh,
that went over in like 3 seconds.
I'm trying to remember which one they shot.
I can't. He didn't really do anything, did he? It was the guy with the. No, that was not the mask. That was the other guy.
No, mask was the fifth.
Yeah. It wasn't really anything because he ran at her. He activated her Sharingan. She activated her Sharingan, punched him once, and that was it.
Yep. Dodged twice, punched, and done. So 3-second win.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fourth one was Inojin versus who did Inojin go up against?
That was the sword guy, wasn't it? I'm sure. That was the mask.
Oh, the mask guy, from the Sand Village.
Yeah.
So that was one of Gaara's son's teammates.
Yep.
And he got a little cocky, thinking, no, this is going to be an easy win, and ended up basically getting taken out.
It was the first loss for Hidden Leaf, which is a shame because I like that character.
Yep. I like Inojin because he's very different from his father.
Yeah.
Sai was very reserved, very quiet, took in a lot, but, opened up towards the end of the series, whereas his son is almost the opposite of that, has a lot more of his mom as far as personality-wise.
I also like Sai as a character because I just don't know, I liked him more than Sasuke. That's just me.
Sai was a very different character, but I like I said, I enjoyed both variants of Team 7 from the Naruto days.
I enjoyed both, but if I had a choice, it would have been Sai.
They definitely were able to do some very interesting things as a team with the Beast Scroll.
Yeah.
Versus having the Sharingan. Then the last battle that we got to see was Mitsuki versus. It must have been from the. It wasn't
Sand. It was the Sand.
No, it wasn't Sand. It was the other village because the last battle is going to be Shinki versus Chocho.
Yeah, well, I thought it was the Sand also because it's the chubbier guy.
No, he was from the other village.
Okay.
I can't remember which village it was. Because there was 3 villages that made it to the third round.
Okay.
And I remember that they commented at the beginning. The Kage was like they didn't have any representatives.
Yeah.
It was the Hidden Mist and the one he fought was from the village hidden in the clouds.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of the Cloud Ninja, and
they got a bit cocky, and then Mitsuki is Mitsuki. So
yes, I like Mitsuki's character.
I like the fact they nearly used Sage Jutsus and then realized he couldn't do it.
Oh, I better not do that. Yes. He almost uses, he was told by his father not to do that, so.
But as I said before, that's why Naruto failed his test again, because he used Sage mode.
Well, I thought it was also he was supposed to hold it back because he didn't want anybody to know about it.
Yeah, that as well.
Not just for the fact that it would cause him to fail or be DQ'd, but...
Yeah. No, just saying they both couldn't use... Well, Mitsuki couldn't use it because he's overpowered with it. Hell, he's overpowered as it is.
Yeah, definitely. So that means 4 Konoha Ninja advance, and we have 1 battle left. Shinki versus Chocho, which is going to happen on the next episode. I have a feeling that Chocho's not going to win.
Oh, she's not going to win. This isn't even going to be a battle, I don't think.
No. Shinki is very powerful, and I think Chocho's going to give it her all, but she's going to end up not being able to go on, because otherwise, we're going to have some major story issues.
Yeah, because nearly everyone from Hidden Leaf are like, we're through.
Yeah. But we do know that there's going to be some Hidden Leaf fighting against each other, because we know that Boruto and Shikadai are going to be facing off against each other.
Yeah.
And those are the only 2 Hidden Leaf ones that are faced against each other, because then the next one is going to be Sarada versus that mask guy from the sand.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be Mitsuki versus I'm assuming Shinki.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next round is my assumption.
We'll find out soon, though.
Yes, but otherwise, like I said, other than the Boruto match, which, like I said, I know it's part of the storyline, I just don't like it. It was a good episode.
Sounds good. Alfonso, I know you watch it, don't you? Have we lost Alfonso?
No. Or we bored him to sleep.
No, I'm here. Oh.
Did you check it out?
Cut off. No, I didn't see it. I didn't see it then because that other anime. But I skimmed through it, and like we mentioned the last week, is basically the movie. So I didn't really watch the whole thing. So I'm not really going to. I'm just going to skim all the rest of them until the tournament is over, because from what I've seen, is all similar from the movie. So
don't worry, you've got our weekly catch up to watch it with your ears.
There you go. Exactly. But yeah, other than that, there's not really much else to tell. Like I said, it's proceeding through, and it's enjoyable. Like I said, the storyline. Like I said, I want to see where the payoff is with this whole kind of side arc in there with the scientific ninja. Exactly.
So that's by the way, while we're talking about Naruto, the Naruto game seems to be officially announced, from what I can tell, for a Japanese release date of August 30th. This is the MOBA style Naruto Boruto game where you can make your custom character and have different types of jutsus based on your type of character you want to play. There's defensive, healer, ranged, close attacking, and then you can fight with Naruto characters online or fight with, I remember playing the closed beta because I missed the open beta. But in the closed beta, it was 2 flags, one on each other side, and you were a team of 3. You had to defend your flag while attacking your opponent to steal their flag.
Team Fortress Naruto.
Yeah, pretty much. But you can make your own custom characters, which was fun. I liked doing that.
But does it come with the funny hats?
I'm going to guess, yeah, because it's got custom characters, so... I made a character with the Rinnegan with healing abilities. It was quite fun. Check that out, August 30th. It's called Boruto to Naruto Shinobi Striker. I know it's on PS4, Xbox, but I think it's on PC as well, but I'd have to research that to check.
Like on Steam or something?
Yeah. Japanese release date is August 30th. We don't have a worldwide release yet, but hopefully, knowing these games, it won't be much
next year.
No, Naruto games actually normally come out in worldwide before Japan. The European version is first normally, then North America, and then Japan.
Weird.
Yeah, it is weird. That's how the Ultimate Ninja games have always been. It's strange.
I mean, that really seems weird because you'd think at that point a lot of the games are going to be, up to the same point as either the anime series or the manga. In certain aspects of it, maybe, but...
Hell, the Ultimate Ninja series used to be further ahead than the anime versions.
So can you say hashtag spoilers?
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah. But that means that some of it isn't like they had an ending for Naruto before Naruto ended. So it wasn't exactly canon. Because they went up all the way to the end so far that they had to make an ending. Because it hadn't been actually finished yet.
Oh, so like Game of Thrones did?
Yeah, pretty much.
Since the book still isn't out.
And I'll be honest, the ending for the Naruto game was better than the anime.
Well, you didn't like the fact that they got that Naruto and Hinata got married?
No, that part was good. I'm talking about the actual war.
They took his wife.
Yeah. I don't like how I would have rather. I know Kaguya was supposed to be the villain, but I'd rather just ended Madara because I like Madara. I didn't like Kaguya just sort of popping up for no real reason. I mean,
well, it's kind of there the whole time. It's just they had now gotten enough of her back together that she could basically reform, I guess, is how they...
I just didn't like how it suddenly appeared. Yeah, I mean, it was... It's just, I don't know.
A wild Kaguya appears.
Yeah. Naruto and Sasuke used Rinnegan Seal Jutsu. It was super effective. Anyway, let's talk about our recommended animes. We had animes that we recommended last week and that we had to watch this week with our eyeballs.
As opposed to your ears.
Is that how that works?
Yeah, that's how it works. Because we at Klaus have been talking a lot, we'll go with Tim. Tim, how was your animes?
Okay, well, this is like the only reason I'm thankful Gary isn't here this week. With his lack of presence makes this a path of least resistance for me, I think. Because he had me watch Gungrave. And the first episode was kind of, it was okay. It was a decent start, and I was going to go somewhere. And then the next, I'd say 20 episodes were filled with backstory leading up to that point. And most of those, and if it had just been an anime about the formation and change in leadership in a mafia, it would have been an interesting anime. But it wasn't. It was about this guy named Brandon Heat. And he was this lackadaisical, empty character that everyone else personified. Like he would walk into a room, have no expression, say almost nothing, and everyone would say things like, "Oh, you're that type of person. Oh, you're this person. You're so great." And as it went along, everybody else was describing him in a way that he really wasn't, and it really made a lot of yeah. And it's just it was just dumb, and his identity became so acclaimed that it was taken by somebody to warp to manipulate this mafia team. I can't remember what it's called again. It all kind of zoned out after a bit. Millennium, thank you, Crystal. But yeah, again, if it had just been about Harry and how he was like this corrupt bastard taking over the mafia, and the actual the Millennium, and this. And the old man, he's the guy in charge of Millennium. He was kind of a really interesting character, and if it had been more on like that perspective, would have made it a better anime. But centering it around such a empty, awful character was just a really bad choice. And this coming from the guy that created Trigun, and granted, I wasn't a superb fan of Trigun, but man, Vash in comparison was way, way, way more interesting. Way more interesting. And the world was more interesting too. But man, it had that feeling, like the whole time, it had that feeling of somebody who was trying to create their opus, right? Like they really put a lot of time and effort into wanting to do it, and I saw it, but it all just felt so empty. And yeah, and it started with Brandon Heat, and it kind of just went on from there. But there were parts that were really cool, and some of the character models were interesting, and the monsters that were in there were super, super cool. But yeah, apart from that, it's just a lot of episodes of people that you don't really care about for very long, just talking.
Yeah,
then you have a you've seen it then.
I've seen a few episodes, and I was just like, nah. It just doesn't get going quick enough. I think it's just basically the thing.
I do, and like, done for thousands of years now, and this was kind of a big deal for her. Actually, this one was a good one for her because it's one that she's been meaning to watch, so it was an excuse for us to finally watch it. And like, she was just superbly disappointed because she's such a big fan, and she wanted to see Gungrave because it came from the same guy. But yeah, she's just awful. Like, she zoned out after I would say about 6 episodes, and I managed to trek through 20 of them, of the 26, and I felt like, I know I talked to Gary and Chris a little bit about it and how some of the stuff at the end becomes, more interesting, but it just missed payoff, and really empty at the end. Like, you have all these cool things that are starting, like character motivations are awful. Brandon Heat is this super 80s cliche, and it's just awful. Like, you could get some interesting things out of 80s, but like, they literally stripped it down to this bare minimum that just dehumanized him. But everyone else was so busy grasping at his humanity that wasn't there, and it just felt so cheesy and inconsequential.
Yeah, it felt forced.
Also, all the main character females, like supporting roles, were all made basically useless, and it was awful. Yeah. I don't know. I know Gary really likes it, and I know Chris was talking about it, and he liked it too.
I enjoyed it, yeah, but I can't refute anything you're saying because it's all true, and I enjoyed the enjoyable parts. I thought in spite of that, but yeah, no, it's it's an anime, and it did, as I recall, it got some video games too, but
2 of them,
anything like too grand to
I would
series.
put them on the same pars of like Dirge of Cerberus.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly.
So what you're saying is they're really good, because I like Dirge of Cerberus.
Fan service, basically.
I mean, it has Dirge in the name. Come on.
It has of in it, man. Come on. But yeah, if I had to put a rating on it, man, I think I'd give it a 5 because it had a decent backstory. And if it had just been that, it would have been a higher score. But there were so many things within it that let me down on a consistent time frame that I just can't put it anything higher than a 5. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So unfortunately, my counterpart can't fight back, and he can't talk about the. And on that note, he'll be talking about it next week. But the anime I gave him was Your Lie in April, but because of some of its narrative notes, he didn't want to continue. It's a very personal thing for him, and I don't want to get into it if he doesn't want to, so that's up to him. But I gave him the recommended movie. I think I recommended it. I mentioned it last week. It's called In This Corner of the World.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, it's a period piece, and I think he'd really like it. But yeah.
Well, that's a bummer that he couldn't get through because I really enjoyed that anime.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, there are so many times I've heard that line in a lot of things, whether it's books or movies or shows, anything. It's I really like this blank, and Yeah, I've heard that so many times in my life. I think I'm just a bitter old bastard. I'm so embedded in classics, it just kills me.
It's taste. Everything comes down to taste, let's be honest. Everyone's got their different ideas of what is and isn't entertaining, if you will.
Yaw.
Yar.
Oh. And while we're talking about entertainment, is that over?
Yep.
Okay, while we're talking about entertainment, we're going to go to some Chris. Hey, Chris.
Yo, what's up?
How was the animes we gave you?
Last week.
Hate me. And
That's fine.
And he's here so he can defend himself. I wasn't here last week, but 2 weeks ago, Tim gave me Kaiji. And not to be confused with Keijo, the boob battling bun anime.
No, the rabbit.
But he gave me Kaiji, and I gotta be frank, I've had 2 weeks to finish it, and I just couldn't get into it at all. Now it's not to say it's necessarily bad. I think there's something there for everyone to like, but basically the storyline is this down on his luck, gambling addicted punk. There's nothing left for him. He lives by himself. He has to steal. When he gets pissed off, he destroys fancy cars. Just kind of a general punk kid. And then so it's to meet him, and you don't know who it is at first. And they tell you in the first episode. Basically, it's this Yakuza guy has come to collect a debt that he said he was good for one of his friends. And basically, so he owes the Yakuza now over $3 million or 3 million yen. But he makes him an offer: if you come on this cruise with a bunch of other people like you that are just throwaways of society, there's a gambling tournament that you could basically win a new start. You have the potential to win 40 million yen and have all your debt cleared, and you can start over anew, and you don't have to do this. But if you lose, then you're basically forced into he calls it a labor camp that would pay off your debt in 2 years. And then in the second episode, a guy mentions that you don't know what happens to these people. It's not just the labor camp. Some of them are used. The rumors are that they use some of them for experiments. Some of them are never seen again. That it's really and it's in that second episode that you realize the weight of what he's just gotten himself into. But what killed it for that's all well and good. Okay, interesting backstory, and even Kaiji, you kind of start to grow with this character as he realizes the situation that he's in. And I like that because he's I've let everybody else make decisions for me. Now I need to start making decisions for myself and start living for myself and get myself out of it. He has this epiphany within the first couple episodes that maybe this wasn't the best course of his life and he needs to do things to change. And all that's well and good, but where it kills me is the gambling tournament is fucking paper, rock, scissors. Restricted paper, rock, scissors. Yeah. And that's where it killed me. I'm wait, what? Because I thought it was going to be like gambling, something like actual poker or shit like that. Nope, it's paper, rock, scissors. The Yakuza gave each of the people on the boat, what was it, 12 cards, 3 rock, 3 paper, and 3 scissor. And when they use the cards are disposed of. And whenever they win, they get a gold star from their enemy. If they lose, then the enemy gets a gold star from them. And there are 3 of them that they pin to the lapel on their chest. Or their Velcro or some shit like that. Once you lose all 3 stars, that's your life bar. And then basically you lose, and the Yakuza takes you away to God knows where. And
so what you're saying is this anime would be much better if it was set in kindergarten, and it was just Yakuza kindergarten.
Almost. It's that, but in the opposite direction. That just threw me for a loop. I'm really? Fucking paper, rock, scissors for your life. And I couldn't... What killed it for me, I couldn't get into... After that concept, it was just so silly like all of this serious stuff is happening with these guys, and then they're going back to paper, rock, scissors, and then they give them each like $10 million or $1 million. There was a low and high of how much they could borrow, and then that was it. They're just like, those are your war funds. You use them as you see wish. And you wish. There's a 1.5% interest rate that compounds every 1.5 or every 10 minutes on it. So gamble wisely with the money. And so now he's figuring out like how he can use his money to get provisions so that him and this alliance that he's formed with these other guys can survive. But all of this, like, serious shit is taking place around a game of paper, rock, scissors with cards. And when they put down the cards, it's like fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! They just take a look at my scissors, and it's just like this goes, and he slams the card down, and a nuclear explosion happens, and
no, that's impossible.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't take it seriously. I was being pulled in these two different directions, and I couldn't finish watching it. Like, I got 5 episodes in, and I'm just like, I can't do this right now. It's just like, it was too much, and it just lost its appeal to me. So I'm sorry, Tim, I didn't like that. That one's like a 5 out of 10 for me.
That's impossible. Nobody's been able to summon him. Not the legendary scissors. No.
The guy just gets hit like by a rocket blast and flies off the ship. Like, where did that even come from? Like, I don't know. It was just silly. It was too silly in one direction and too serious in another. I'm tempted to say that I do want to finish it to see what happens, because that has me curious enough. But it's going to be, I feel like, a slog for me to finally get to the resolution that I want or don't want, whatever. So yeah, I apologize.
The cat sounds pissed.
Yeah, sorry, my cat is. She heard me imitating Yu-Gi-Oh, and she started to wonder if I was all right. Yeah, so that's that one.
I can appreciate that, Chris. But I think what saved it for me, and not even really saved it, because you have the really just got into the characterization for Kaiji and his just and all the circumstances that went into it. I just really got in behind it. Plus, on the Yu-Gi-Oh note, I didn't watch any Yu-Gi-Oh when I was growing up, so I didn't have any of that compared. I mean, I saw it, but I didn't like live it, so it was easier for me to get around.
Oh yeah, no.
By the way, while we're talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, I'm so gonna plug one of my favorite YouTube channels, and I recommend anyone who's ever had any experience with Yu-Gi-Oh at all, even if you didn't really watch the anime, to go watch Little Karibo's Yu-Gi-Oh Abridged. It is amazing. In America. Your hair isn't anime enough to get on this show. Yours is plenty anime enough.
I summon Karibo! I surrender! Oh my god.
Not Monster Reborn.
Yes.
That card lets you win any duel.
Right.
God damn it. Yeah, totally worth it.
No invisible guns. But yeah, you get a bridge, please, everyone. So, is that it, Chris?
Yeah. I mean that's it. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all there is. Like I agree with you, Tim. I like the characters. That's what got me into it, was Kaiji. This, just his character, and already kind of seeing some growth there. So that, like I said, yeah, that's the reason why I liked it. The card dueling thing, the Yu-Gi-Oh, it was too much like. It was like Yu-Gi-Oh! It was Yu-Gi-Oh! On a death cruise, is what it was. Just like,
I want to see that now.
That actually sounds way more interesting than Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's what it was. Like they may as well have been like having the little dual things that they put onto their left wrist. It straps on there.
A Yu-Gi-Oh! VR game.
They may as well be doing that. Yeah, that'd be cool. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Kaiji. We go to the next one.
Done.
Okay.
Done. On to the next one.
Neil, did we give you an anime?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little outside. A couple of things I had to talk about, which is Klaus's suggestion and Tim's suggestions the last few weeks. I suppose going with Tim's first is Samurai Champloo, which I hadn't.
Oh my god, I totally forgot this.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mentioned like I'd started. I hadn't watched much, and I think I said the same for the other one. But very much, and obviously because it's from the same guy, but much like Cowboy Bebop, it's very stylistic in the correct manner. Yeah. It's, you know, I think as pointed out, it's like you had this futuristic anime that has a very jazzy soundtrack, and then you have this, which is, you know, in the past, but has a very rap soundtrack, and it's like, yeah, it still thematically feels very much like the same guy doing, you know, in terms of that. It, you know, I haven't finished it. I have to say I've watched most of it, but it's such a lovely stylistic choice in terms of the animation, and yeah, the story's cool. I have to say it's a bit more laid back than most anime, which is lovely. I like that about it, and the music is there to accompany that laid back atmosphere to it. Definitely helps. And yeah, just but when it gets going, it's just, again, thanks to the way it is animated, it just, yeah, it's a superb looking anime. It may not be like the best storyteller in that terms, but it doesn't need to be, I find. I think it is because of its nature, it is just a very on the level sort of thing to watch. You're just seeing a very simple story, you know, at the heart of it, and it's told beautifully. I think it's an absolutely lovely watch in that regard. It's I always like this about anime shows, and if it goes against the norm in some way, that it will interest me more. You know, if it's not the same cliches constantly, of, you know, it's like, oh, weak hero, blah blah blah, gets more powerful, etc. And this really isn't like that in a lot of ways. It's like, you know, you establish very early on that, you know, this person has this much power, this much ability, etc. And this is what they will do going on. And I like that simplicity about it. It's just like, yeah, it's hard to put into words exactly why it's really good. But yeah, if time had been more permitting, I would definitely have watched it all by now. But sadly, I did not get to. Yeah, again, much like Cowboy Bebop, the soundtrack is just masterful. I like pop when it's done well, and here it's just, yeah, great. It's like a better version of Afro Samurai, if I put it like that, you know, in a sense of mixing something historical with that modern rap soundtrack. I much prefer this in that regard, and not just because of that shit game that went with Afro Samurai.
We know you're biased now because of it. It's all right. See, I haven't experienced it, and I loved Afro Samurai, but I never played the game, so I didn't really have, you know, anywhere to judge it from how much worse it could be.
I mean, yeah, it's like, imagine a thing you really, really like, and then there's a game version of it that is fucking terrible. There you go. That's it.
So Iron Man.
Yeah, it's like, there is a very good example. It is just disgustingly bad. Yeah, and luckily that's not the case here. There's nothing to sort of take away from what's nice about it. Like I said, if I'd had more time, it would have been great to have watched it all. I would feel unfair to score it, having not watched everything yet. So I will refrain in that regard.
If you get a chance, I would do finish it.
I will.
The ending has, I don't know, the ending has this like weight to it, but I also feel like it's a cop out. So I'd like to talk to you about it once you get there.
Oh, I am a sucker for endings like that, though. You know, it's like it's in King books.
No, not that kind of cop out. No,
but you know what I mean.
Damn.
I like unsatisfying endings in anything. It's like stuff that makes you go, I wanted more, I wanted closure, I wanted resolution. And it's like, and anything that doesn't provide that is, I don't know, it just makes you think more at the end of it, I find. And
right.
That's what I do like. So I'm glad to hear something like that. It will be nice. So yes, hopefully I will get to finish the rest of it tonight. It will be finished. But yeah, we shall see. So yeah, I suppose I should move on to Knights of Sidonia, which only ever makes me think of the Muse song of the same name.
Such a good song too.
It is a very good song. Yes. And I've seen that song live, and chef's kiss, as they say. I mean, the problem here with this one is also one of the strengths with it, I find, is the animation. I'm not a fan of 3D animated anime all the time. I had this problem with Berserk when it came back, and I liked it at certain points. It worked for me, but I don't know. There were certain things that just didn't gel very well with, and it looked like, is this a bootleg from China sort of thing? That is the way I get. And even here, Knights of Sidonia, there were moments and scenes where you're like, wow, that's fucking beautiful anime, and yet there are also scenes where you're like, did I draw this while inebriated? Because it looks like it. It's just unfortunate, because as a result, there's an inconsistency in the way it appears visually, which takes away, for me, the story's all right, but the animation is probably the strongest part of the whole thing when it's going right, personally speaking. But the rest of it's a bit more inconsistent, if you will. The characters, I didn't really feel attached to anyone going into it, and there's not a lot of character development I found with this series. And they're very not cliche. The cliche would be a bit mean, perhaps, but just underdeveloped, if you will.
How far in did you get, Neil?
Most of it, I think. I think I've got a couple of episodes of the first season. I think the second season I need to watch, obviously. But there's some constraints. But yeah, it's grown on me as it's gone on. It's just, I think it was a bit cold to start with. I think, again, getting used to that animation style is always a tough one with this kind of thing. It was the same with Berserk in terms of that. Once you get used to it, it's not so bad. But yeah, once that got on, not so much of a problem. It's just that, there was a lot of very bland character development in the early going, I think, so far. And the story, it's a lot of the normal things that I expected as it went through, which isn't a problem. I don't want necessarily innovation in that regard, and it wasn't bad. I'd just say it was a decent story. It was enough to keep me going, and keep me watching. But I feel like I'm waiting for something bigger to happen at this point, and which, with a lot of anime is the case. You are waiting for that big hit, that big hook to come at the end of a season and sort of guide you into the next one and sort of take it to that next level. I'm hoping that is coming with that.
Yes. Yeah, it is definitely coming. I believe towards the end of the first season, there's a major plot element that comes in there that totally changes the direction of the storyline.
I think I'm coming towards that. It kind of hints towards something major happening in the future of it. But this is it. Again, can't really pass proper judgment without seeing the whole thing, but so far, curious about what it will do going. And I'm still invested enough to keep wanting to watch it. That's the main thing. And I'm very fussy with watching any TV show, be it animated or otherwise, that if it's not holding my attention, I'm not going to finish it. That will be and it has that at least going for it. I like mech stuff if it's going right, so it has that straight away for me. But I have to say, of the choices I got given, these were two very solid choices, and I look forward to sort of finishing them out and having a more full evaluation of both of them.
Cool.
That's your cue, Ben.
Okay. Alfonso, you had a lot of animes that we gave you.
Okay, so I did. Last week was my first time being on the new podcast, and I mentioned I don't watch anime. So Tim recommend Mob Psycho 100. Gary recommend Heat Guy Jade, and Tim, Gary, and Klaus recommend Gantz and to watch the movie. I decided to watch Gantz first because of how sick and demented Yased the anime and the movie was. I watched the movie first just to get it out the way, and I finished the series in 7 hours straight with no sleep.
All I know is nobody heard my recommendation. I tried to recommend Captain Sakura.
And there's a reason I didn't hear.
Hey, carry on, Alfonso.
All I have to say is that y'all are some sick motherfuckers.
Duh.
See, I didn't recommend it. So.
The anime and the movie are similar and different at the same time. For example, one of the characters, Kato, he was both in the anime and the movie, but the rest of the people that was in majority of the anime wasn't. His brother was there as well. In the movie, he already has his apartment, but in midway of the anime, he didn't get his apartment after he started saving for it. There's not a lot of nudity, like it was in the movie. There was a lot in the anime, but not in the movie. They did explain the concept of the game, both the movie and anime. You die, you get transported to this room. You see a black spear, name is Gantz, where the objective is you get these suits that protect you, which gives you speed, strength. If the suit gets damaged, you're more vulnerable to die a lot quicker, and you have these special guns where it time lags, but if shot correctly, most of the time they do headshots and your head explodes, or you have another gun that transports the alien somewhere, and if you complete the game within the time limit, then you go back to the room, and then you're able to leave until Gantz call you again. They explain the points. You need 100 points. If you get 100 points, you get 3 options. 1, you get to be free of the game, you lose all memory, and you go back to your normal life. 2, special weapons upgrades, which they showed in the movie but not in the anime. And 3, you get to revive one of your players that were dead, which they showed in the movie and not in the anime. That's what I saw. Maybe y'all can fill me in, because before I watched the anime, I read through the plot of the episodes, and what I was reading online wasn't what I saw in the anime. So, as I go through it, maybe I could just jump in and tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm, close to what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So, okay, so in the movie, it was a little confusing because they showed Kato fighting this alien, and then he ended up dying. And from what I saw from beginning to end, he had 3 different paths. So first pass he was dead, and then towards the end, he was able to defeat what they call the final boss, and he revived the girl that wants him to stay alive and live together, and where his brother and her son. And then they flash forward again where he chose the option to be free, and he runs home to find his brother, and that's how it ended. I did not like how that ended. That pissed me off. Was I right about that? I'm on point with this.
Yeah, it's a pretty pissy ending.
Yeah,
but everything going into it is very, very cool.
Yeah, I love all the violence and that boss that kept mutating over and over was just crazy. Another difference is they have two teams. One was Kato's team was called Tokyo, and the other team was called Osaka. They didn't have that in the anime, which I find to be weird. And the Osaka team had the most advanced weapons and more players, more skill, but majority of them ended up dying, which I found to be funny. But overall, I give the movie a 10 out of 10. It was a solid movie. I just didn't like the ending. The ending was confusing. As far as the anime, you have a boy named K, which I'm gonna call him hard on because the dude was hard numerous times. He was out of it. Yes, that's what I'm gonna call him hard on. And then you have another boy named Kato. I'm gonna call him sensitive because he was very sensitive throughout this whole anime thing. And he went on the train, homeless dude was drunk. He fell on the train tracks. They went to get him. They got him off safely. They got hit by a train, and they got transported to the room. And I know there was other people, but I only remember Suishi. That's what's his name. Can't. The asshole. That's what I'm gonna call him. The asshole. The asshole who's just standing in the corner. And then you have the woman, the girl that came in, who obviously committed suicide. We don't call her Miss. That's what they refer her to, Miss Jugs. And the asshole's getting ready to, prepare for the game. They trying to figure out what was going on, if they're dead or not. And the song comes on. Yan says what he has to say. They show the alien on the screen. Suits come out, the guns come out, they get transported. Then they go into, from what I remember, there were 4 different type of main aliens. You have the green onion alien, which was the little one, and then usually when it comes to them fighting aliens, it was always a small one, and then the final boss. They end up killing the small one, and then the big one came. They didn't kill that one. They actually transported it because Hard On had a problem killing it, but the asshole transported it because he said, you did well, I should give you, but he didn't end up doing it. I don't remember the second villain, the second alien. I think it was the one with the robots and the bird. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So robots, like that. This was so fucking stupid. It's so stupid with these robots and the screaming, and then the birds pop out their head. I was like, what kind of shit these people having me watch? But I was in shit. I couldn't get away from it. And in the end, this fast forward in the end, Hard On managed to kill it, and because of that, he ended up getting the most points. So that's when I realized the small aliens give you like 5 points, and the final boss give you bigger. They give you more. I cannot remember the third villain. Oh, the third alien was the ones with the statues. Yep. And that to me was like the most like impacting moment of the anime, because that's where a lot of people die. Before I jump into that, more people had died, like the old lady and the little kid and those asshole biker dudes and that girl that loves the books, and Hard On finally got to score. And I realized ever since he had sex with her, he been more violent and just he stopped a little worrying, I can't do this, blah blah blah. He said, "Fuck y'all, I'm gonna kill this alien is mine." And he managed to knock out the green one. He had help from the red one because the dude, he had a sniper that was helping him. And I love how he took out the gold one. That big gold one, he just charged up and just ran right through his head. And then it came to a point where there was the final boss, and that boss just started killing everyone. Kato managed to kill it after it metamorphosed into that green alien, but he ended up dying anyway. And then K was the one to survive, the only one to survive. Yeah, more people who come in, and then Gans want to play this game and make K the alien, which I did not like this part at all. You have them turn on each other, and that part just really pissed me off. You know, in the end, K survived again, and he goes back to the train station. Gans leaves him at the train station, and it's basically he's reliving all what he saw from the first time he was on the train station. All the people that he encountered in the room are there, and now he jumps on the train tracks and he has a choice, either to move out the way or get hit. And he holds up his fingers like a gun and shoots, and Gans disappears, and he disappears, and then it just ends with a train going by with no one there. I did not like that ending. I didn't. Another difference I noticed with Gans is that Gans in anime, you see a human, a bald man who laughs, his eyes open, but that was later in the anime. In the movie, it was a woman who was speaking. The ball never opened. If I'm correct. I'm correct? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so overall, movie, anime, 10 out of 10. And after I saw this thing twice with the movie and 4 times anime, I recommended it to my brother. And my brother was a little iffy because he doesn't like when I recommend things because he said, oh, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So usually when this comes up, I say, all right, so you ready to do the bet? That is, if one of us is right, that we have to pay something for the other. He's going to London in about 2 months from now. So he told me to pay half. I said, not only will I pay half, but I will give you spending money down there. And I told him that you have to pre-order Tomb Raider, the collector's edition, and Red Dead 2, the collector's edition, will be less than what I'm giving you. Told him watch the movie first, watch the anime, and then the movie again. And tell me when you're done.
You guys are high stakes, damn. I gotta say, you guys are high stakes.
And when he was done, he was speechless. He couldn't say nothing. And I told him, let me know when you pre-order my games.
Yes.
Shit.
He loved it. He loved it, and he couldn't say nothing else about it. Now, as far as the other two, I did not watch the other two because when I was getting to watch Mob Psycho 100, that's when Shannon said, great news, I'm a registered nurse. And I said, oh, God, now I got to plan. I got to plan because if I don't plan, then she's going to get mad. And if I try to watch these shows while I'm planning, she's going to know that I didn't put my all into this. I said, you know what? I got to watch these 2 shows the next week. So, yeah, I only got to saw Gans.
I have found an anime for you that is... The episodes are only 3 minutes, so I will give you the short one then.
Okay, that sounds good.
Fair enough.
Because I was looking to find something to balance out all the violence from last week. So I think I found the perfect anime to balance the violence.
No matter what you recommend, my mind will never warp back. That
oh no, I think this will work.
Left so many.
I think I found the perfect.
Gans is life changing.
I'm telling you now. I think I found the perfect anime for everyone.
But it's no All Out. Let's be honest.
I'll be honest. That is the best.
Oh God, the dog itself always licking
the butter dog.
Like, what? Oh
the
God!
And then that big dude,
the big dude from school that wanted to fuck Kato. I was like, what?
Okay, so is that Alfonso's? Is that all?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Klaus?
All right. So, apparently I learned how Ben hands out all of his recommendations.
Yep.
He goes into Google, he types in anime fan service, and whatever he finds.
I just went to Funimation and clicked that subtitle.
Okay.
Fan service.
So yes, I figured he went for anything that had lots of boobs and adult situations and things like that. Because we all know that Ben is a perv.
I got to make sure it's a 5-star though. It's got to be 5-star perv material.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Nothing but the best from Ben. So he recommended Air Gear to me, so I was able to find that and start watching it. And Okay, I like the animation style. It's really clean. It's well done. It flows very nicely, so it was easy to watch.
I bet it was.
I bet it was.
And yes, the fan service portion helped as well.
Did it now?
But I found that the story was really lacking in this one. Basically, it's about this kid who sneaks into his he's living with 4 girls. They're all sisters, and they're like his cousin. They're like cousins or something like that. He sneaks into the eldest one's room and watches all of her inline skating videos. They're basically they're rollerblades that are self-powered or powered with these little motors in the wheels, and they're called air treks. So they basically didn't want him to see any of that, so he's caught watching these movies. But he's hooked on the whole idea of riding these air treks. And he's been basically, for all intents and purposes, stalking this one air trekker, real hottie named Simka, the Swallow. And and so basically then he takes a pair and he starts, riding, and he's basically hooked. But what he doesn't realize is that he's now basically gotten himself into this kind of underground world of riding. They I'm trying to think of what they call them. Storm riders. That's what they're called. He ends up getting himself into a battle inadvertently right away against another team, and he has no idea what he's doing, but he gets really lucky and gets away with it, so to speak. But that's basically the entire series. He gets himself in these situations and he gets really lucky and gets through them.
I didn't know it was an anime based on my life.
In which case, most anime are based on your life.
So honestly, Ben, you at least have a bit of a personality.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
You have so much more personality than the main character Iki does, and like I said, I watched it because, like I said, it was entertaining to watch. It was easy to watch, but the storyline was just, for the most part, non-existent, and the ending was anticlimactic. So I'm not going to get too far into it because it won't make sense in any type of review right now. But if you like well-drawn anime tits, and good-looking characters and stuff like that, I think you might enjoy this. But if you're looking for something with a deep storyline and a cohesive plot, yeah, find something else. I don't know. That's about all I really have to say about it.
Well, the anime I got was Silver Spoon, and I got halfway through season 2, and I really enjoyed it. It's about someone who joined farming school and wasn't sure what to do with his life at all, and he seemed to really grow, and I really liked the actual character plotline. I really did enjoy this anime. I liked Portball, the little pig that he looked after, and felt sad that when he lost him. But that he made the only thing I don't like is when nobody had eaten pizza before. I'm like, really? I'm sure one of you does watch the TV show and know how to make it, but I guess not. But it was really cute how they all helped him to get the ingredients for the pizza because he was worried that he couldn't make it because of how expensive it was. And then they're like, "Oh, we've got flour. Oh, we've got eggs. Oh, we've snuck into this teacher's lounge and stole his cheese." Oh. I like the fact that it ended up being a classroom thing and making this pizza, and everyone enjoyed it. I would recommend this anime. It's really good. All the characters had decent interactions. They all sort of got character growth from what I watched. And as I said, I really connected with the main character. He had his flaws, but at the same time, he was growing as well. So I think the pizza one is probably my favourite. What's that, Neil?
I said, as is the case of most anime.
That last anime I had, the sumo one was just like,
I just meant they're usually, air quotes, growing.
Yeah.
Some way.
I also find that part where the woman lost her bra and he is blushing because she's asking him to find it. That was good. He's like, how was it? So she's like, black and big. He's like, I like one part where she's like, the girl says, she said, I'm like a horse, and one of them says, what, because you smell? The other one's because you're arguing, and the girl just blushes.
Okay.
This sounds like cute, like in a grade school.
It's very cute.
I love it.
It's a very different side of Japan, and this is a very agricultural and rural view of Japan. Because, like I said, it takes place at an agricultural school somewhere out in Hokkaido, I believe.
And you can even see the two different farm types from the one where they're very Mikage's family, where it's very where I think it's that her farm is very sort of more.
Oh, the mechanized farm, Giga Farm.
Not that one. The one before it, where it's more family. Family.
Oh yeah, gotcha.
They look after
they look the small family farm.
Yeah.
Yep. Versus the other one, which is the big mechanized.
Oh no, it's hurt his knee. Let's kill it now. But you still saw like a loving side where they went and fed the cows milk by hand because they realised that the babies didn't know what it was yet. You saw that even though it was a machine more mechanised, that they did have some interaction. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It was a good show.
Splendid.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. Yeah.
Cool.
So on to selections.
Yeah, I'm going to give my selection first, I think.
Go for it.
Once I can find it again. Actually, no. Because it was... Alfonso, I'm picking this for you because I thought after last week's show, you deserve a little bit of a stupid Crunchyroll stop lagging. I found it earlier, and I think I just wanted to go back to Silver so I could remember the names of the characters because I'm rubbish with names. It's like, but yeah, Alfonso, I decided to go for something that was a little cute for you. There it is. You ready?
Go ahead.
It's called Banana. It's basically a 3-minute. It's only 12 episodes, I think. No, 13 episodes. And it's about a cat that lives in a banana.
Oh, I know the one. I know that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a cat that lives in a banana with all its friends.
He's going to watch it 30 times, and it's going to fuck him up even more than Gantz did.
Like the episode where they find a visitor peeping in the window. And then there's the episode where Balloon quietly floats into the living room, and they can't resist trying to grab it. But everyone knows that cats and balloons are dangerous.
I know the temptation of not being able to grab it.
All right.
So, yeah.
He just rolls onto his back and paws at it.
Ditto.
So,
Yeah.
It's a cat living in a banana. I thought it's nice and calm for you after Gantz.
I mean, yeah, that is pretty calm, to be fair. If you're going to go Gantz to that, that's like one end to the other.
I like it. That's very considerate of Ben. That was very nice of you.
Yeah, really. So who's next?
Okay, so Ben, I want to know: have you ever seen Black Cobra?
No.
Ooh.
Then that's what I'm recommending for you. Basically, is right now it's 32 episodes, and it's about two orphans named Asta and Yuno, who are destined. Well, not destined. They're claiming they want to be the Wizard King. It has to do with magic. They get these spell books called grimoires, which basically amplifies their powers. The difference between Yuno and Asta is that Yuno has magical powers and Asta doesn't. But Asta is special because he gets a anti-magic grimoire that nullifies, that cancels out other people's magic, and he gets to repel their attacks back. It is kind of slow in the beginning because in the beginning they had to do with trials and special tasks, but after they get into their squads, that's when it really picks up. You're gonna enjoy it.
What was it called again?
Black Clover. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to try and find it.
The main character screams a lot. It's like it's like Vegeta like trying to go Super Saiyan when he's constipated. Just the whole episode for 20 minutes. That's all it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And who's next? Klaus, I guess?
Okay. Tim.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to recommend for you Tiger and Bunny.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And it is hilarious.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
Tiger and Bunny.
Tiger and Bunny.
Okay.
It's not about a cat who lives in a banana.
Okay.
But it
that lives in a bunny? Is this where we're going with this?
It's very different from what the title sounds like, but it's good.
Okay.
You can say it's in a similar vein to My Hero Academia in the fact that the main characters are they're like professional crime fighters.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
You said more than you said you were going to say. You said earlier, that's all I'm going to say, and then you elaborated a little.
I know.
Right to my face.
Good.
Okay.
Good.
So I have a recommendation for you, and I was a little worried actually going to the podcast that you might have seen it already. It's on Amazon. It's called Made in Abyss.
Let me look.
I guess you have to see it. Awesome.
Made in Abyss?
Yep.
Let me look here.
Is this like a Black Bible knockoff? That's what it's sounding like.
No, I have not seen this one.
Awesome. Okay, it has a similar kind of character premise that Black Clover has. You have the two main characters. One is this girl who wants to go exploring in the abyss. Like the whole focus of the anime obviously is going to be this abyss, but like right off the bat, like you get to understand how this city that's built around this opening, which is called the Abyss, it revolves like everything of life revolves around this and the dire danger that's inside there. Like there are different layers of it, and it kind of is reminiscent of a lot of imagery that you've seen and that you'd see in Dante's Inferno or things like that, where you have different layers of hell and each one has a certain feature. But if you go online, you can even see it, but I'm sure it'll show. It shows in the anime, and I've definitely gone through the manga. I definitely prefer the anime, and I'll talk about more of that next week. I don't want to get into it right now. But
just
yeah,
the
like
one
you have,
season?
Yeah, and that's all that's animated right now. But there's more in manga, so if you're interested, it's out there. But yeah, you have the two main characters. One girl who's going on a journey to find her mother, who is also someone who's gone into the abyss. I'm losing terms because it's been a little while since I've seen it. But you don't ever hear about adventurers who go down past a certain point, and she was one of them that had gone down way, way past, and she had received a note that came back up from her mom, who was way down deep, and so she wants to go down and try to find her mom. And within the first couple minutes of her going into the abyss, she comes across this boy who's robotic, and he doesn't have the same like humanistic drive that she does, but he has all of these powers. So it's this dichotomy between the two that really kind of goes along the story really well, and they really frame each other in opposing ways. And yeah, but yeah, the anime is definitely more favorable than the manga, and I'll get into that next week. But yeah, Made in Abyss
looks good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That just leaves Chris and Neil.
Yeah, I guess it's Neil and me. Would you like to go first, Neil? Neil.
Oh.
Has he gone to watch the Banana Cat anime? Because that's what I'm doing right now.
No.
Okay. So what should we do? Find a recommendation for him?
I don't know.
Don't know?
I think that might be the best bet right now.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's like
you got lucky.
lucky. Sorry, I forgot I was muted. Just
He's been trying to talk to us.
you pulled a Ben, huh?
Yeah, you pulled a me. Stop.
I was sitting there talking the whole time and nobody's sending it back.
I had everything set up as well, which was terrible.
I have done that so many times, especially in raids where I'm telling people strategies and then I realise nobody can hear me.
Well, yeah, we've been going overall since our work meeting 5 hours.
Yeah.
So attention is not always focused.
It gets to be a long day then, huh?
Yeah. It's like, and not getting paid enough for that.
Well, it doesn't help that Neil's been drinking out of that fifth of Jack he keeps in his drawer.
Dude, I'm a beer drinker. Please.
He's gone through at least a case.
That keg of Guinness that he's got under his desk.
We all know it's Bailey's from a shoe.
I've had. I've had 1 ale and 3 Carlsberg export in this time, so it's fine. Well, since we started the last podcast, so anyway, right. So I'm going to keep a sports anime theme for this anyway, in the hope that Chris hasn't seen many sports anime podcasts.
I have not, so you may well be in luck.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to give you a choice. What's your preferred sports?
Honestly, even though I live in America, I prefer other sports like soccer and hockey, and
fantastic
rugby and that. So yeah,
tennis.
Are you going to make me watch Prince of Tennis?
No.
I'm
just saying. Do you like tennis? Do you like equestrian events?
I do indeed.
Oh, well, I had the perfect anime for you, young man. I have Valkyrie Romance, which is Walkure, romance with a Z.
Okay,
yeah, just clarify, because it's not spelled the normal way. Right, so, just to give you more information on this, what Crunchyroll say is horses dashing gallantly, challenging their own limits. Magnificent, heroic battles highlight the horseback lance sport of jousting. One of the many people fascinated by this proud sport, Mizuno Takahiro acts as a beguiler, an assistant, to jousting knights as he lives his rather tedious life at Winford Academy. This is the story of Takahiro and these female knights in their passionate, noble battles.
It looks like it's got a bunch of cute girls. That's super stoked.
Yeah, I saw that and I thought these were my 2 choices. They both seem to be cute girls. I thought that's what Chris wants. He wants he wants animal stuff and cute girls at least, at most. So
next week he's gonna come back and go, oh wait, there were girls in that anime.
Oh my god.
The horses, they took too much of my attention away.
So we need to slap another problematic sticker on this one.
Problematic stickers for everything.
I think so, yes, because horses.
Yes. All right. Cool. Thank you, Neil. I actually had not heard of that before, so I'm definitely going to look forward to this one. For you, I actually would like to give you a choice based on 2 things that were mentioned earlier in the podcast. The first, your regality.
Yeah.
And the second, and
my
the second
regality
is yes, as we determined it, you're very regal, very.
Yeah. If I'm lucky, I'm from a convict family. At best.
That explains a lot.
It does.
Yeah, it does. The second one is based on, you said earlier you're not a fan of animes done in 3D, and that gave me an idea for a recommendation if you haven't seen it. So,
Okay.
for the 3D and anime, have you seen a movie called Appleseed?
I have not watched Appleseed yet. No.
Oh my God.
Okay, that's one that is an all 3D anime, but it's one of the best, and still to this day my personal favorite, and I think the best of like the 3D animated animes. It was just done so well, so well, and it's such a good movie. I absolutely loved it, and I'm curious what you think about it with your bias to 3D anime. The second option is, in honor of your regality, Black Butler. Have you seen this series?
Oh,
I have not. Let me check.
I'm so jealous of him right now.
That's the more available of the two, if I'm right. Let me check.
I hope you can hear Crystal. She's freaking out right now over Black Butler.
I fucking love Black Butler.
It is so good.
It was
Chris.
originally, so yeah, it is still on Netflix. So yeah, that goes onto my list. That will be my choice.
There you go. Yes, I love. You don't have to if you don't want to. Don't worry. Second season. I definitely would recommend watching the entire first season, though, if you can, because that is, in my opinion, just one of the finest pieces of like an anime series that's ever been done. Like just 26 episodes of fantastic Sebastian-y goodness and Grell.
I think you're forgetting about Oran Host Club.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. That's gonna be for another time. But yes, okay. There's another piece of sexiness in anime. Yes. So,
well, just looking at this, I may only be able to watch the third season because Netflix has the third season, and according to Crunchyroll, due to licensing limitations, videos are unavailable in my region for that one. Oh, yeah, the other one doesn't appear at all. So I'll watch what I can. I'll find a way. That's the way.
There's a will. There's a way.
Life finds a way.
Well,
life finds a way.
Well, there's a Neil. There's a way. That's the way we're seeing it.
Clever Neil.
Clever Neil.
That's like the most conceited thing I've ever heard.
I am a very conceited person. So.
I know you are.
And yet again, the anime podcast is longer than the original normal podcast. So I think we'll wrap it up here.
Oh, sorry, I was completely shocked by this development.
This is my shocked voice.
But this is low stakes in the podcast world, so it's not so much a problem that we go on for hours with this one.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Problematic Sticker podcast. Alfonso, do you have any shout-outs?
Once again, shout out to you guys. Shout out to Shannon, RN. Yeah. Looking forward to next week and discussing.
Are you back? Are you back next week?
Not for the regular podcast, but for the anime, I will be on.
Yes. Well, I need to know his opinions on the cat in the banana anime.
Oh, I mean that is the main thing, but still,
that has now become the thing I am looking forward to most next week.
Please look forward to it.
Chris, have you got any shout-outs?
Friends, fans, family, Gary, miss you, buddy. Hope everything is going okay. No, he's not like dying or anything. I just scary all the time.
Hashtag clingy.
Hashtag clingy. Yeah, that's all.
And Tim?
General shout-outs, listeners, you guys, everybody, Fonzie. But the special shout I'd like to make is Fonzie's brother, especially if he's willing to buy me some collector's editions.
You just gotta prove him wrong.
Okay.
Neil?
Oh, me? Do I have things to say? Wow.
Do you have words?
Well, I always have words. Whether they're relevant or meaningful is the main question. They are not. So.
Well, all right then.
That did it for me. Oh my god.
Okay, and spent.
Oh god.
Klaus?
Well, I want to shout you guys out. Thank you again for having me on. Because if you guys are interested in Final Fantasy podcasts, we do one every other week at twitch.tv/Phoenix Down Radio or our website, phoenixdownradio.com. We have some guy named Ben, or we call him Chili, on there with us as well.
No, I won't be on this week's, which sucks.
No, he's going to be representing us at a cool community function, though. So,
yeah,
some people in Final Fantasy XIV are going to actually be putting on a performance of "I Want to Be Your Canary" from Final Fantasy IX.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
it's actually really cool. So, a special shout out to the group A Stage Reborn on the Diablo server of Final Fantasy XIV.
Salute you people. That is fantastic.
They are amazing. They've done 3 different shows now. They've done "I Want to Be Your Canary." They did the Maria Draco from Final Fantasy VI, and they also did a real life play called The Worker.
Yeah.
So they've done real theater within Final Fantasy XIV as well. So it's an amazing group.
Wow, that is cool.
Yep. And if you're interested in following me out on the social medias, you can find me at phxdn_Klaus, KLAUSS, on Twitter.
I want to shout out to Maelstrom Radio, She Heals I Tank, if old man favorite streamer, and everyone that's on this podcast. Seriously, thanks for joining me for nearly 2 hours. Shout out to everyone that listens, and shout out to A Stage Reborn. I'm really looking forward to being a VIP for the show and a representative of Phoenix Sound Radio and Go Around Radio. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
So until next Sunday, this will be this week's problematic sticker. We'll put a sticker on it. I don't know. We don't have an end phrase yet. So
no, we will put the problematic sticker on it.
We'll put the problematic sticker on it.
Fuck what that quack does from Napster.
Until we get a slogan, that'll be it for now. So till then, please sponsor us, Crunchyroll or Funimation. Till then, bye.